There's a silent war raging inside you right now. Not the kind fought with fists or weapons, but one fought in your mind, in the quiet corners of your soul. Every day you're alive, you're making a choice. To rise, or to rot. People don't ruin their lives all at once, they waste them. Slowly, quietly. One excuse at a time. One, "I'll do it tomorrow," at a time. One sacrificed dream after another until the light goes out. And when it does, it's not loud. It's not dramatic. It's a whisper, a soft sigh of regret that comes when the clock finally runs out. You think you have time. That's the lie. Time is the biggest illusion sold to the lazy. You don't have time. You have now. And what you choose to do with it defines everything. There are people 6 feet under who would give everything to trade places with you, to feel the sun on their face just once more, to chase the dream they were too afraid to start, to say what they never said. And here you are, scrolling, doubting, waiting for permission to live. You were not born to pay bills and die. You were not created to be another background character in someone else's story. There is something inside you, a fire, a voice, a vision, that this world has never seen before. But if you do nothing with it, it dies with you, buried with your bones, forgotten like you never existed. You know what's more terrifying than failure? Regret. Regret is a slow death, a parasite that eats away at you when it's too late to go back. It whispers, "What if?" every night before you sleep. Don't you dare let your story be a cautionary tale. You were not put here to watch life happen. You were put here to build, to fight, to speak, to transform your pain into power, your trials into triumph, your story into a weapon. But you can't do that sitting on the sidelines. You've got to wake up. The world doesn't owe you understanding. It doesn't owe you a soft landing. But it does respond to those who demand more, from life, from others, from themselves. You think greatness is some magical lottery? That success chooses people at random? No. It chooses those who show up, bloodied, bruised, and unbreakable. Thomas Edison failed over 10,000 times before he got the light bulb to work. 10,000 failures. Most people can't even handle one. But Edison understood something you need to tattoo on your soul. You don't fail when you fall. You fail when you quit. Stop waiting to feel ready. You'll never be ready. That's the point. Growth is messy. Progress is uncomfortable, but the pain of progress is always better than the pain of regret. The truth? No one's coming to save you. Not your parents, not your partner, not your boss, not your friends. No superheroes crashing through the ceiling. It's just you, your choices, your thoughts, your actions. That's it. That should scare you and empower you, because if it's just you, then it's up to you, and that means you hold the power to rewrite the script. But first, you must confront the enemy within. The voice that says, "You're not good enough." The fear that says, "Don't try, you might fail." The shame that says, "You've wasted too much time already." Shut it down. That voice isn't you. It's your comfort zone, terrified of death. But guess what? If you stay in your comfort zone, your potential dies instead. You weren't made for safety. You were made for impact. So stop asking for a lighter load. Start building a stronger back. The strongest people on earth didn't have easy lives. They were forged in the fires of heartbreak, rejection, failure, loss. Oprah was told she wasn't fit for television. Walt Disney was fired for lacking imagination. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. Every legend you know was once just a human, filled with doubt, fear, and flaws, who refused to quit. So what's your excuse? You say you don't have the time, but you had time to binge 5 hours of shows last weekend. You say you don't have the money, but you had money for the new phone, the sneakers, the subscription. You say you don't have the motivation, but you've had fire before. It's just buried under the weight of distraction and delay. Here's the truth. You are not stuck. You are simply choosing comfort over change. Let that sting, because it should. You think your dreams are waiting for you, like they'll just sit on the shelf until you're ready, but they're not. They expire. Opportunities rot. Time moves. And if you don't move with it, you'll be left behind. Not because you weren't capable, but because you were too comfortable being average. You want a better life? Then get angry at the one that's wasting you. Get angry at the lies you've believed. Get angry at the mediocrity you've accepted. Get angry at the voice that told you to settle. because only when you're truly fed up with wasting your life will you fight for it. Discipline is not punishment. It is the highest form of self-respect. When you discipline yourself, you're saying to the world, I matter. My time matters. My future matters. What I build will outlast me, because I refuse to live like I'm already dead. Listen carefully. The gap between the life you have and the life you want is filled with discipline. Discipline is showing up when it's boring. It's saying no when everything in you screams yes. It's doing the work, not for applause, not for recognition, but because you gave your word to yourself and you refuse to break it. Every day you don't choose discipline, you choose regret. Every time you hit snooze, scroll for hours, talk about it instead of doing it, you're making a silent agreement to stay where you are. And here's what's dangerous. Discipline isn't a switch you flip later. It's a muscle. You train it or you lose it. And most people lose it, but not you, because you've been wasting too much of your life, and something inside you is done. You're done watching others rise while you shrink. You're done pretending it doesn't bother you. You're done calling it patience, when it's really procrastination dressed up as wisdom. It's time to rebuild your soul with clarity. You can't hit a target you can't see. So get quiet. Get honest. Ask yourself, who do I want to be when no one's watching? What kind of life would I be proud to die having lived? Not a perfect life, not a rich life, a real life, one that makes you proud of the fight. Clarity is when the fog lifts and you finally see that all this time you weren't confused. You were just afraid to decide, because once you decide, there are no more excuses, no more maybes, no more hiding behind the illusion of figuring it out. Your clarity becomes your compass, your vision becomes your fire, your discipline becomes your armor. And now you move. Not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. Vision is the art of seeing what doesn't yet exist, and choosing to believe in it anyway. It's planting a seed in the soil of nothing, and watering it with your sweat, your faith, your fight. People will laugh at you. Let them. They laughed at Henry Ford when he said he'd build a horseless carriage. They mocked the Wright brothers for trying to fly. They called Steve Jobs crazy for putting thousands of songs in your pocket. Do you want to know the truth? Every visionary was once a lonely fool. Until they weren't. Until the world finally caught up to what they saw all along. You want people to believe in your dream? Then believe in it first. Protect it like a flame in the wind. Don't let anyone blow it out. Not with doubt, not with fear, not with facts. Because vision doesn't come from the facts. It comes from faith. And when your vision is clear, when your mission is louder than your mood, you will do the work, even when you don't feel like it. That's when discipline and vision shake hands. That's when your life begins to change. But vision without purpose is a fire with no direction. Your purpose is not a job. It's not a title. It's not something you find. It's something you decide. Purpose is when your pain meets your power. When your story becomes fuel for others. When you realize everything you went through wasn't random. The heartbreak, the betrayal, the failure, the poverty, the fear, they were all sharpening you, preparing you, building your spirit for something bigger than comfort. Don't waste that pain. Don't numb it. Don't bury it. Use it. There's someone out there right now drowning in the same storm you survived. And your story might be the lifeline they never knew they needed. But you can't help them if you stay silent. You can't help them if you stay small. You can't help anyone. If you waste your life pretending you don't have something to give, you do, more than you know. But now comes the test, because purpose demands a price, comfort or greatness. You can't have both. You want to live with purpose? Then you must be willing to lose sleep for it, lose comfort for it, lose the approval of people who don't believe in it. And when that moment comes, when you're tired, misunderstood, isolated, you remember this. You're not here for applause. You're here to build something that outlives you, and that means action, real, ruthless, consistent action, not motivation, not hype, not waiting for the stars to align. Action is the oxygen of achievement. It's putting your feet on the floor when every cell in your body wants to quit. It's writing the page, sending the email, taking the step, even when you're scared, especially when you're scared. Because fear doesn't mean stop, it means go. It means your soul just found the edge of growth. And on the other side, everything you've ever wanted. You'll never rise by thinking alone. You rise by moving, by trusting, By daring. By stepping into the fire and saying, "Let it burn. I've got work to do." That's how you don't waste your life. You act. Even when it's messy. Even when it's imperfect. Even when the results are slower than your ego wants, you act anyway, because you are done waiting. You want to build something that lasts? Then you better learn how to get back up when life punches you in the mouth, because it will. Resilience isn't just about strength, it's about staying power. It's about hearing no 100 times and still showing up for the yes. It's about being bent by the storm but refusing to break. You will be tested. You will lose people. You will lose money. You will lose sleep. Sometimes you'll lose faith. But if you don't lose yourself in the process, you win. There is a kind of power that only comes from being shattered and rebuilt. That power is called resilience. It's what kept Nelson Mandela alive through 27 years in prison. It's what lifted Malala back to her feet after being shot in the head for wanting to go to school. It's what burned in the heart of every survivor who chose to rise instead of rot. So when life slams you to the ground, you get up. When your plans fall apart, you rebuild. When the world says it's over, you write the next chapter anyway. Because wasting your life isn't just about doing nothing. It's about surrendering when you're called to rise. And to rise, you need adaptability. You can't control the storm, but you can adjust your sails. The world doesn't owe you predictability. It will change. Your path will twist. People will leave. Plans will fail. But if you're adaptable, you won't. The greatest warriors in history weren't just strong. They were flexible. They shifted when they had to. They bent without breaking. They pivoted without losing purpose. You want to succeed long term? Learn to adapt faster than you complain. Be like water, fluid, forceful, and unbreakable. Adaptability is how you keep your mission alive, even when the map burns. And as you move, as you fight, as you grow, don't forget the secret weapon no one talks about: gratitude. Gratitude is not weakness. It's not soft. It's not passive. It's fuel. When you live in gratitude, you take nothing for granted. Not the struggle, not the progress, not the people who believed in you when no one else did. Gratitude sharpens your vision. It turns "I have to" into "I get to." It turns obstacles into lessons. It turns failure into feedback. And most of all, it keeps your heart open in a world that wants to make it hard. You want to be powerful? Then be grateful and hungry. Be grounded and unrelenting. Be thankful and unstoppable. Because the man who fights with gratitude in his chest is dangerous. Not because he hates the world, but because he loves what he's building too much to lose. And that love leads to one final truth. Learning is forever. You are not a finished product. You are not a label. You are not your past. You are a student of life, and the moment you stop learning, you start dying. Success doesn't belong to the know-it-alls. It belongs to the learn-it-alls. Study the greats, not to copy them, but to decode what's possible. Read the books. Watch the interviews. Ask the questions. Learn from your pain. Learn from your mistakes. Learn from people smarter than you. Because every time you learn, you grow. And every time you grow, you earn another piece of the future you once only dreamed about. That's the price of not wasting your life. You must keep becoming. Not just achieving. Not just collecting trophies. But becoming someone your younger self would look at and say, "We made it. We didn't give up." You want to know what success really is. It's not money. It's not followers. It's not applause. It's going to bed each night knowing you gave your full soul to this life, that you left nothing on the table, that you honored the breath in your lungs, that you didn't waste it. And if you can do that, if you can wake up, show up, speak up, fall down, get back up, and grow through it all, then you've already won. Most people live like they're rehearsing for something. They walk through life tiptoeing, waiting, stalling, as if the real moment hasn't arrived yet, as if there's a green light that'll come one day saying, "Now you can start living." But here's the truth. This is it. This is not a dress rehearsal. This is not practice. This is the show. The only one you get. And the clock is ticking. There are no retakes. There's no someday that will magically arrive. There's only now, raw, real, and slipping through your fingers. Every breath you waste doubting yourself is a breath you'll never get back, and every second you spend trying to fit in. Every hour you waste trying to be small to make others comfortable. Every day you trade your truth for approval. That's your life, bleeding out. And when it's over, no one gets to rewind. No one gets to beg for a second chance. The time you've lost? That's the price. The silence at the end? That's the echo of every moment you didn't live full out. So, what are you waiting for? To be ready? To be perfect? For permission? You won't get any of those. And you don't need them. What you need is to decide. Decide that you're done living half alive. Decide that you're done dimming your light. Decide that this, right now, is your turning point. Because life will not wait. The train is moving whether you're on it or not. And you've got something inside you that the world needs, a voice, a fire, a story that no one else can tell but you. But you've got to stop pretending you don't matter. Because every day you play small, someone else suffers in silence. Someone who needed your strength, your words, your example. You think your actions only affect you? You're wrong. You are a chain reaction waiting to happen. One move from you could ripple through the lives of people you've never met. One decision could break generational curses. One act of courage could inspire thousands. But not if you keep shrinking. Not if you keep wasting your life in fear, in doubt, in distraction. Look around. How many people do you know who truly live? Not exist, not survive, not perform, but live, fully, wildly, unapologetically? It's rare. Because it's hard. Because it's terrifying. Because living fully means risking fully. And most people are too afraid to lose what they don't even love, but not you. Because something is shifting inside you. You feel it, don't you? The tension in your chest, the ache in your gut, the whisper that keeps waking you up at 3 a.m. saying, "There's more." And there is, but it won't come wrapped in safety. It won't arrive on your doorstep with a how-to guide. It's waiting for you on the other side of fear, on the other side of discomfort, on the other side of the life you've settled for. And when you step through that threshold, when you walk through the fire of your own resistance, something changes. You stop being a spectator. You stop blaming the world. You stop waiting for signs, and you become the signal. You become the force of nature you were born to be. You begin to live like every second counts. Because it does. And in doing so, you give the people around you permission to rise too. That's leadership. That's legacy. But you'll never get there if you keep living like you're invisible. Because the truth is, you're not. You've been seen. You've been chosen. You were born with breath in your lungs and a beat in your chest for a reason. It wasn't an accident. So act like it. Act like you were born to build, not just to breathe. You weren't sent here to pay bills and scroll yourself numb. You weren't created to drown in routine and call it responsibility. You were built to create something that didn't exist before you showed up. And if you haven't yet, you're not done. Stop looking at your past like a verdict. It's not who you are. It's just where you started. You are not the mistakes you made. You are not the time you lost. You are not the lies they told you or the labels they gave you. You are becoming. Becoming the one who breaks the cycle. Becoming the one who rewrites the rules. Becoming the version of you that your younger self needed. The one who finally said, "Enough, it's time to rise." But becoming takes battle. You will lose friends. You will outgrow rooms. You will walk alone. And that loneliness, that silence, that pain, that is the cost of evolution. There is no glory without isolation, no greatness without sacrifice, no victory without the quiet moments when you look in the mirror and wonder if it's all worth it. It is. You are not alone in that darkness. Every person who ever created a movement, a business, a breakthrough, sat in that same darkness and refused to give up, because they understood what the average never will. Comfort is the enemy of destiny. You don't get to stay soft and safe and also leave a legacy. You don't get to be liked by everyone and also change the game. You don't get to waste your days and also wake up fulfilled. You get what you fight for. You get what you're willing to bleed for. So ask yourself, what are you fighting for? Approval, applause, avoiding pain? Or are you finally ready to fight for yourself? To fight for the life that burns in your imagination, the one you see in flashes, late at night, when you let yourself dream before the fear kicks in. Because that dream, that's not random, that's your future, trying to pull you forward. But you can't grab it if your hands are full of fear. Let go. Let go of the need to control how others see you. Let go of the fear of being wrong. Let go of the story that says, I'm not ready. Because no one who changed the world was ever fully ready. They just showed up anyway. And so must you. You've got a voice inside you that this world needs to hear. You've got a fire that could ignite 1,000 others, if you'd only stop hiding it. You've got a story that could heal someone's shame if you'd just be brave enough to speak it out loud. But that will never happen. If you keep wasting your life waiting for the perfect moment, this is it. The moment is now. And whether you choose to rise or rot, that choice will write your legacy. Your legacy won't be built in grand speeches or highlight reels. It will be built in the invisible hours, the ones when no one is watching, when it's just you, the dream, and the decision to keep going. It's easy to talk about ambition. It's easy to post about purpose. But it's in the dark, uncelebrated, brutal moments that your greatness is forged. When your heart is tired, when your spirit is sore, when your bank account is empty, and your faith feels even lower. That's where the story is written, because that's when the weak quit, and that's where the unstoppable begin. You want to be unforgettable? You want to live a life that echoes? Then let the fire in you burn louder than the voices around you. Refuse to give in to the noise, the gossip, the doubt, the distractions, the critics, the people who gave up on their own dreams and now want to talk you out of yours. Ignore them. Do you know why they talk? Because you moving reminds them that they stopped. You chasing something reminds them of what they gave up. Your fire exposes their ashes. And instead of rising with you, they try to pull you back down. But you don't owe anyone your silence. You don't owe anyone your smallness. You owe this life everything you've got left, and more. Because no matter how long you've drifted, it is never too late to remember who you are. You are not here by accident. You were born of stardust, pressure, chaos, built for impact, for movement, for moments that defy gravity. And every second you choose fear. Every second you sit in comfort. You dishonor that fire. So stand up. Straighten your back, clench your fists, open your heart, lift your chin, and decide, I will not waste what I've been given. This life may not have been fair. It may not have been kind. You may have scars, trauma, years lost to the dark. But you're still breathing. And if you're still breathing, you're still dangerous. Because it means the final chapter hasn't been written yet. It means the comeback is still possible. It means that something inside you is still worth fighting for. And that alone is a miracle. You don't need a stage to start. You don't need 1 million followers to matter. You don't need anyone to believe in you before you believe in yourself. Because belief is the birthplace of power. And once you believe, truly, deeply, relentlessly, nothing can stop you. Not failure. Not betrayal, not heartbreak, not fear, not even time. You can bend time with purpose. You can outrun regret with conviction. You can rewrite the entire story in one decision, but only if you stop running from yourself. The mirror won't lie to you. Look at it. Look into your own eyes and ask, if I died today, would I be proud of how I lived? Would you? Because that's the only question that matters. If the answer is no, if you wouldn't be proud of how you've lived, then change it. Not tomorrow, not next week. Now. Rip the script in half. Burn the excuses. Bury the doubt. Stop negotiating with mediocrity like it ever did anything but choke your soul. And then, choose. Choose discipline over distraction, purpose over popularity, conviction over comfort, growth over ego, vision over fear. Because every moment you hesitate, someone with less talent, less support, less clarity, is out there building the life you keep saying you want. Not because they're better than you, but because they decided. Do you hear that? It's not the applause. It's not the cheering crowds. It's not the spotlight. It's the sound of your own heartbeat, reminding you that you're still here. And if you're still here, then your work is not done. There are words you haven't spoken, dreams you haven't built, people you haven't met, battles you haven't won. And if you could see the version of you waiting on the other side of your fear, you wouldn't sleep tonight. You'd run. You'd rip through the limits they gave you. You'd laugh in the face of the doubts they placed on you. You'd stop playing small and start playing real. Because when you finally realize how short this life is, you stop wasting your energy on what doesn't matter. You stop arguing with fools. You stop chasing validation. You stop waiting for perfect. You stop trying to explain yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You simply move. with fire, with focus, with ferocity, because you've seen behind the curtain. You know how many people go to their graves full of songs unsung, books unwritten, love unspoken, courage unclaimed. And you've made a choice. You will not be one of them. You will not let fear make your decisions. You will not let laziness steal your destiny. You will not let the story end in silence. You will fight for this life, and not just to survive it, but to set it on fire, to light the path for others, to build something so beautiful, so bold, so filled with truth, that when you are gone, people will say, "She lived. He burned. They mattered." But you cannot create that kind of legacy accidentally. You must wake up with intent. You must walk with urgency. You must breathe with gratitude. You must speak with truth. You must act with relentless energy. You must commit with every cell in your body. Because this life will not hand you greatness. It will hand you chaos. It will hand you storms. It will hand you challenge after challenge. And dare you to rise. So rise. Again and again and again. Bloody, bruised, unapologetic. Because the day will come, sooner than you think, when your body gives out. And all that's left is what you built with the fire you were given. When that day comes, when your eyes close for the last time, it won't be the money that mattered. It won't be the followers. It won't be the cars, the houses, the likes, or the headlines. It will be the moments. The moments you said yes when everything screamed no. The moments you stood up when you were supposed to stay down. The moments you chose love over ego. The moments you moved even when your knees were shaking. That's what defines you. And here's the truth no one wants to admit. Death is coming for us all. And most people live like they'll outrun it. They won't. Neither will you. But what you can outrun is regret. You can leave nothing unsaid, nothing undone, nothing unlived. You can walk into that final breath knowing you poured it all out, that there is nothing left in the tank. That's peace. That's power. That's what it means to live a life you don't have to apologize for. So from this moment forward, you make a vow. No more wasted time. No more waiting for permission. No more shrinking to fit. No more dying while you're still alive. You make a vow to live fully, to show up when it's hard, to love when it's scary, to speak when it's risky, to act when it's uncertain, to build when it's impossible, to keep going, especially when you don't feel like it. You make a vow to honor the gift of your life, not with perfection, but with presence. Because this isn't about being fearless. It's about doing it anyway. This isn't about never falling. It's about rising faster every time. This isn't about making noise. It's about making impact. And when your bones are dust and your name is carved in stone, let them say you were fire. Let them say you lived with thunder. Let them say you did not waste what you were given. Let them say you were alive. Don't waste your life. Live it so loudly, so boldly, so fiercely, that even death steps back and says, "I'll wait."